Alrighty folks, and welcome back to another cast of Beyond All Reason, the second ever from me, Livity. So it's great to have you aboard again. So I want to take a second though to say thank you to Requiem TV and to the Bar official YouTube channel for commenting on the last video with some tips and feedback, and I hope that you'll see that I've implemented almost all of it. So things like trying to smooth the scroll, increasing icon scaling, which I'm still going to be playing with just a little bit, and yeah, just in general, any feedback that you guys have, I'm more than open to it, so feel free to leave that in the comments. And without further ado, the game is afoot. Let's get into it. So the reason I am here today on this particular little map is, I'm not sure if you've seen this one much before, but I know I haven't. So this is called Charlie in the Hills Remake, and this is going to be a 5v5 with more than a few interesting things going on. So you'll see over here there's a little like water lane that kind of wraps around. We've got the two ponds in the middle, so you can have a little bit of navy play, maybe put a flagship here or something if you really wanted to. Though given how close quarters it is, maybe hard to see. There are these little metal pockets on either side, so you'll see along the backs we do have some metal available there. And certainly if you have got like bots or different things like that, they can, like, spider bots can crawl up through here and do sneaky things as well. So in terms of who we're actually playing with today, on the red team we've got Gaming heading up the red team at 37 OS, and you'll see that there's quite a few actually higher OS players in this match, so it will probably be pretty decisive one way or the other, let's say. We also have MDXD in yellow, Winter in orange, Kakdong Chen in pink, and Carbon in, we'll call it the pale, like, white color-ish, I guess, or off yellow. On the opposite side, we've got Von Comet, 1984, Rift Station, Twitch, Alex, and Blossomed. Now, one thing you may notice, the astute observers in the group might be able to have caught that this actually happened. So here, Yellow doesn't have a lab and is busy collecting Reclaim and is given over, well, they still have their mexes and are basically just overflowing at this point. But I'm not totally sure what they're planning. Meanwhile, Pink and Light Green are starting to square off with their pawns and grunts respectively, in this case both grunts. And they're just, again, trying to seize control, because where it's such a tight-knit map, you really do need to try and get as much territory control as you can, as quick as you can. Now, still, I'm going to keep eyes on MDXD, because there's got to be a bigger plan here other than just grabbing those C-mexes, but we'll see. On the opposite side, you can see Rift Station and Twitch doing the same kind of thing. Like they're slowly starting to grab this, but I like this a little better because in this case, they got to actually still keep their lab. Though they are kind of running low on power where they don't have the commander to help build wind and things like that. Now, we do have another degree of symmetry on this particular map. So we've got vehicles on this side paired off against bots on this side. So bots on the left, vehicles on the right, and it's a perfect symmetry, which you don't often see. Usually, like, one player will go the opposite tech and it'll create that kind of inequality between the bots and the vehicles. Air players helping it with a few shurikens here, always great to see. Just making those fights that much more efficient. Particularly if this, if Carbon was going to go for more of a run through here, it might be nice. But I don't think we're going to get to see that today. Now these LLTs on the hill, also really great. And you can see the same kind of thing here from Blossomed, where they have this one, and they're going to go for a second one here, you can see in a minute here. So we'll see how those do, but I think that the hilltop advantage is really interesting, because unless you have vehicle artilleries, which of course is going to make them less of a deal on the right side of the map, these bots are probably going to have a hard time aiming up at the LLTs and things like that, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Rift Station has gone ahead and secured the majority of the middle of the map at this point, which should start to tip that metal advantage towards the blue side, which we do see reflected at the top. Air players mostly just keeping pace. Now, the one thing about the air players is the air cons do have a little bit less build power than the rest. Oh my gosh, yep, there's that LLT going to work. Oh, just barely manages to repair that. But what a great area denial that's going to prove for them, particularly because now they have access to all this reclaim here, and in a little bit safer manner than they might otherwise. And in that reclaim field is going to keep growing too as these bots go down. And yeah, there goes the con as well. Oh man, and we've just had another. Now we have a ping here for exchanging of commanders, but it looks like what happened was they just maybe didn't have enough vision of the LLTs. Yeah, I'm gonna say that they kind of walked forward and found out exactly how many LLTs there were a little bit too late, and they actually still haven't scouted these last two. Oh, now this is in trouble for MDXD, who at this point I think that might be their only unit. Yeah. They still have no labs or anything of that sort, so it's pretty much just that commander contributing the +2 metal and 25 energy that they create by default. I'm not sure I like this. It essentially means that this lane is going to be a 2v, we'll call it like 1.25, and then on this side it's going to be a 2v2. So that inequality, I think, is going to really start adding up. However, does the gamble pay off, you know? We have gaming over here. By the way, what an excellent name. Like, honestly, just gaming as a name. So good. Truly he is gaming. That and also 1984. I do, you know, in our current, not to get too political here, but in the present day political climate, I think 1984 is an excellently chosen name, we'll say. I love seeing the pounders kicking in on these missile trucks. They're so easy to get a good value as long as you are aggressive with them. As soon as you start backing off, the missile trucks end up winning that engagement, but if you are aggressing into the missile trucks with pounders, you're going to do really well. On this side of the map, things are getting pretty tense. Oh, Pink trying for those D-guns, but not really getting the value I think they were hoping for. And as they continue to get whittled down by the rocket bots and the thugs, it's really not looking too great for them. Air is sending just a con over here, not totally sure what they're doing. Meanwhile, the other air con has gone for a radar, so still pretty passive stuff from both air players. I think neither one is really willing to commit to anything just yet. The fiends that are starting to come out from red aren't really finding as much value as they're hoping to, I think. It's interesting. I often find that fiends struggle even against things like Sheldons and hounds in particular, because they end up just, due to the extra range on those artillery units, they end up losing a lot of HP, but before they even really get to start to shoot back. And I don't know what they need. They're already such a great unit, but they do struggle more, I find, these days in certain situations. Now this is getting tense. We are like the front line has become the back line now, and they are fighting very close, tooth and nail. There's so much happening on both sides. I don't want to miss it on either side, because there's essentially, this is like, I would say if the blue team can't recover from this, it's going to be GG. We do have an aircon setting up a bot lab in the back line here. That's pretty sneaky. I want to check that out, but I also don't want to miss what's going on over here. So we do have some of those Sheldon coming out, which will hopefully start to trade it better against these T2 units. I don't know about you, but I feel like rooting for the underdog here. And what? Oh no. What? So I have no idea. And I don't think they do either. Why did MDXD just blow themselves up just there? Oh man. That is pretty crazy. Meanwhile, Carbon, who doesn't really have the energy to keep up with this at all, is starting to suffer. You can see that. Have they been given energy somewhere? Like, I don't see how that's adding up to 2,000. But okay, no, fair enough. At this point, though, with both those comms down and Riff able to come in and clean up afterwards, it's looking like GG for Pink, unless Red can do something very crazy on that side. And on this side, it's kind of feeling like more of the same. Oh, there goes. These sumos are so precious right now. They're probably the only thing they have to kind of fight back, but you can see Red actually ended up having to hand over some of these wind turbines just so they could get the sumos. Oh my gosh, just so they could get the sumos to be able to fire, but it's not going to matter as Von Comet deguns them down, and these fighters come in to clean things out in this. And that, folks, oh my gosh, is going to be a lightning fast game of Beyond All Reason in this tight little cage match that is Charlie in the Hills. I'm a little bit sad we didn't get to see the comm drop over here that looked to be coming from Twitch. You can see as he was moving around, or the bot lab. And not really. I think today we've proved that the communist strategy here of just handing over absolutely everything to the other comm. Maybe if it was a bit of a bigger map and they had more room to kind of build up that advantage. It seemed like Red was starting to get ahead in the tech department, but it just wasn't enough in the in everything else. So that's going to be that for this match. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please, again, if you have any feedback that we can incorporate to the next one, drop it in the comments below. And I hope to keep bringing you more casts very soon. Have a great day.